If you've been scrolling through hundreds of Sony E-mount lenses trying to figure out which glass is actually worth your hard-earned cash, I feel your pain. I went out and grabbed the 5 most popular lenses on the market right now to see how they actually handle in the real world. I'm skipping the lab charts and telling you what it's like to actually shoot with them.
Product number 1. Tamron 17-70 f2.8 DII3AVC RXD. When I first pulled this Tamron out of the box, I was surprised by how solid it felt for an aps-c lens. It's got a bit of heft to it, but that usually means good glass. This has become my go-to do-everything lens. The 17-70mm range is a sweet spot because it gives you that extra bit of reach over the standard kit lenses. I took this out for a day of street shooting, and the f2.8 constant aperture is a lifesaver. I didn't have to worry about my settings jumping around as I zoomed in to grab a portrait. The AI-backed vibration compensation, VC, actually works too. I noticed my handheld video shots looked way smoother than usual, especially when I was walking. One thing I really loved was how close I could get to my subjects. I was able to snap some macro-style shots of flowers at the park, getting as close as 7 inches away. It's also moisture resistant, which I tested unintentionally when it started drizzling. I didn't panic, and the lens didn't skip a beat. If you own a Sony a6000 series camera and only want to carry one lens that handles landscapes, portraits, and video, this is the one you should buy. It's basically the ultimate workhorse for crop sensor shooters who don't want to keep swapping lenses every 5 minutes. Speaking of swapping lenses,
Product number 2. Sony FE 50mm f1.8 standard lens. I call this the plastic fantastic. When I hold this 50mm, it feels almost like a toy because it's so light, but don't let that fool you. I slipped this into my jacket pocket and forgot it was even there. For full frame shooters, this is the classic nifty 50 that everyone needs in their bag. When I started shooting with it, the first thing I noticed was the bokeh. That f1.8 aperture produces a really soft, creamy background that makes people stand out perfectly. I used it for a few headshots, and the 7-blade circular aperture creates these nice, round light orbs in the background. It's not the fastest focusing lens in the world. It makes a little bit of noise as the motor moves, but for the price, the sharpness is actually impressive. I noticed a bit of distortion in some of my architectural shots, but the double Gauss configuration does a decent job of keeping things looking natural. It's a simple lens without any fancy buttons, but that's the charm. If you're just starting out or you're on a tight budget and want that professional blurry background look without spending $1,000, this is a no-brainer. It's the cheapest way to get high-end results on a full-frame Sony. But look, if you're at a soccer game or trying to take photos of birds in your backyard, a 50mm isn't going to get you close enough.
Product number 3. Sony E55-210 f4.5-6.3 OSS. This is the lens I grab whenever I'm heading to a stadium or a park. It's an aps-c telephoto, and while it looks long, it's surprisingly thin and easy to grip. I spent an afternoon at a local track meet with this, and the internal focusing was a dream. It's completely silent, which is a huge deal if you're trying to record video of a graduation or a quiet event without the mic picking up lens noise. The reach on this thing is great. It's roughly equivalent to a 315mm on a full-frame camera. I was able to zoom right in on athletes from the stands and still get sharp shots thanks to the optical steady shot. I have shaky hands, especially when I'm zoomed all the way in, but the stabilization kept my images crisp. It's not the fastest lens in low light, so I wouldn't recommend it for indoor gym sports without a lot of light, but for outdoor use, it's a champ. I really liked the direct manual focus ring. It's smooth and let me tweak the focus quickly when the autofocus got confused by a fence in the foreground. If you're a hobbyist who wants to get closer to the action without carrying a massive heavy setup, this is your best bet. It's lightweight, affordable, and gets the job done for those faraway shots. Now, if you're a professional or someone who demands the absolute best image quality possible, we have to talk about the heavy hitters.
Product number 4. Sony FE 2470mm f2.8 G Master. This is the big boy. The moment I picked up the 2470mm G Master, I could tell it was built for professional abuse. It's heavy, it's sturdy, and it feels like a precision instrument. This is the lens I use when I'm doing a paid gig, and I absolutely cannot afford to miss a shot. The image quality is honestly breathtaking. I was looking at the textures on a suit jacket in one of my portrait sessions, and the level of detail the XA element picks up is wild. It's sharp from corner to corner, even when shooting wide open at f2.8. The bokeh is also noticeably smoother than the cheaper lenses, thanks to that 9-blade aperture. I really appreciated the focus hold button on the side of the barrel. I programmed it to IAF, which made tracking my subjects so much easier during a fast-paced shoot. The nano AR coating is another huge plus. I shot directly toward the sun during a sunset session, and I barely got any ghosting or flare. It's a pro lens in every sense of the word. If you're a wedding photographer or a serious prosumer who wants the gold standard zoom and doesn't mind the weight or the price tag, this is the peak. It's the lens that rarely leaves my camera body. But sometimes, you need even more reach than a standard zoom, and you don't want to break your back carrying a G Master telephoto.
Product number 5, Tamron 70 to 300mm f 4.5 to 6.3 Di3 RXD. I took this Tamron 70 to 300mm on a hike last weekend, and I have to say, it's a total relief to carry. Usually, a 300mm lens feels like a log in your backpack, but this one is incredibly light. It's designed for full-frame cameras, but it works just as well on aps-c if you want even more zoom. During my testing, I focused a lot on wildlife. The RXD motor is quick and, more importantly, very quiet. I managed to get some great shots of some deer without scaring them off with a clicking lens motor. The image quality is really solid across the whole range. While it doesn't have built-in stabilization, most modern Sony cameras have in-body stabilization that handles it just fine. I also played around with some close-up shots of some moss and rocks. It's not a true macro lens, but the up-close performance is way better than I expected for a telephoto. It's moisture-resistant too, which gave me peace of mind when I was near a waterfall. If you're a travel photographer or someone who loves nature walks and wants a long zoom that won't weigh you down, this Tamron is a fantastic choice. It balances portability and performance better than almost any other long zoom I've tried.
So there you go. Those are my favorite Sony E-mount picks. Whether you're shooting on a crop sensor or full frame, one of these is going to stay on your camera 90% of the time. Make sure to check the links in the description for the best prices today.